All right, guys, let's take a look at the Nodus Retrospect version 3. This one in the, quote, Salmon Sky colorway. Not a colorway that I would pick, but I happened to run across my channel. Figured I'd share it with you. There are some other really good colors, and I think there's probably going to be future colorways of the Retrospect, whether it be a third or fourth generation, but it is a staple in their lineup, if you will. So they have, and this is honestly, this is kind of like one that has progressed from the early days of Nodus when they came out with the Retrospect. That was like early in their days, and they slowly just kind of morphed it a little bit, refined it a little bit, and I love it. I love it, and I know it's overall case and everything like that is more of a simple design. Their earlier ones. This one's a little more complex, and that's part of the improvement process of the progressing the model forward instead of just letting it die out. I appreciate that they kept it, altered it a little bit, tweaked it, made it even more appealing to people still now. So I don't own a Retrospect, but I intend to. The Nodus that I own currently is the Bronze Avalon. Absolutely love this one, and I fully expect to add a Retrospect probably this year, 2023. All right, let's get into this guy and cover the specs. So the case, actually, I measure 40.5. So you can see the bezel overhangs the case a little bit. So the case 40.5 millimeter, the bezel is 42 millimeter. The bezel insert in this looks like ceramic, but it's actually a DLC steel bezel insert. Very tough and solid unit there. The lug-to-lug 48 millimeter, you can see drilled lugs, excellent brushing with polished reliefs both on the top and bottom of the mid case, giving it a nice visual impact. It makes it look even thinner. And it is actually still thin. It's only 12.9. They say 13 mil. I actually measure 12.9 millimeter. All things considered, that's actually a pretty thin dive watch because it is a I believe 200 meter water resist, and it has the Seiko NH35 in there, and it still is relatively thin. 22 millimeter lug width, amazing bracelet taper down to 18 millimeters. So 22 down to 18 is a very good taper and is going to be very comfortable on wrist. Oversized 7.5 millimeter crown with no crown guards, so kind of a vintage inspired design there. Even though I can't think of any other vintage watch that this would look like, but still, Wes and Cullen, the owners of Nodus, are true watch enthusiasts, and it really shows with their product because they actually assemble these in Los Angeles, and they do their own quality control inspections. I've not handled a Nodus with an issue yet. They kind of sort that out before it leaves. They're not going to send out an inferior product. They're going to stand behind their brand. They're very passionate about their brand, and it shows in the product. So, I covered a lot of things already. 120 click bezel, great bezel action. And these are some of the things that are just going to be, we expect in watches, but oftentimes when you have a watch enthusiast owned and ran brand, you're going to get the best things, like, because they're looking at the watch as they want to wear it on their wrist, right? Just like you and I do. So they want great bezel action, they want great finishing, accurate movement, amazing lume, and that is all incorporated into this watch. That's the one really cool thing about micro brands, at least the ones that are ran by watch enthusiasts. Price point on this, it's only $475, guys. So you're well under that $500 price point, which may not seem like a big deal. I realize it's a lot of money still, but with today's world, with all the watch brands just steadily increasing their prices and discounts going away, that they still have a model that packs a punch, in my opinion, and it's still under $500. I don't consider it an entry-level watch in their lineup or any micro brand. I feel like this is one that I would be happy to own, and I think you would be too. The other few things that are really cool with this, it's a sandwich dial, okay? Let's zoom in on that. You can get a closer look at that. Really nice handset there, very legible, and then it has the triangle cutouts for a sandwich dial, and they have C3X1 lume, which is going to be amazingly potent. You also have a color-matched date wheel. And then another trick up its sleeve. Check out the case back. Nice and smooth, and it also does tell you that it has the assembly in Los Angeles. Has quick release spring bars, but let's talk about this clasp. Very simple fold-over clasp, double pusher, single post, but here's the trick up its sleeve. It has what they're calling the Nodus, kind of a play on their company name, right? But it is an on-the-fly, easy-to-adjust, micro-adjust system. The other thing that I like about it, besides the fact that it's on the fly, toolless, micro adjust, is the fact that it doesn't automatically ratchet in. You can't push it in. You have to push it in to do that. So it doesn't tighten up like a pair of handcuffs that I've heard. That's how they work. That you have to tighten it up. That, again, seems trivial, or maybe you guys don't appreciate that, but they can tighten up on you. The ones that don't lock into place. This one locks into place, and I prefer that over the ladder. Another thing, 24-month warranty on these things. Okay, they back that up. They also regulate them within 4 positions. And then they tell you what the movement ran, which a little bit of deviation on a Seiko movement when you change positions like that, I'm surprised it's not more than that. I didn't test it on my time grapher, but I have tested a bunch of Nodus as I've gotten them on the show, and they all perform great. All right, let's pop this on my 7 1/4 inch wrist so you can see what that looks like. Also, big thanks to my buddy Greg for sending this over. Here it is on my wrist. I don't know why, I haven't warmed up to salmon or pink dialed watches yet. Maybe in the future I will. But when I look at this watch, I want a white dial or a bold yellow dial. I know a lot of people are like, oh, get the orange dial. I'm not into orange dial watches like you might think. I do like the bold colors. I just envision this one, the Retrospect, with bold colors. It definitely works with these softer colors too, but I like the bold colors. Let's kill the lights, check the lume. Excellent lume, as always, with Nodus. And this one is honestly probably one of their better ones. The Avalon does a really good job too. Keep in mind, the Avalon's BGW9, which is way more difficult to get to the intensity of C3X1. So they had to really layer this one up because they're almost on point with one another. I have to add one of these soon, very soon. At the bare minimum, I'll probably pick one up at the Worn & Wound Wind-Up show in San Francisco, which is probably going to be in April, and I'll see Wes and Cullen there. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video.